It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started.
Another topic that I often bring up in my Agile classes, specifically in Scrum certification, is the focus on outcome over output. So I finally got the question. Someone asked me to really clear things up and define outcome. And the confusion they were having is they said, well, there's all different types of outcome. And after I sat down and thought about it, they're right. So let's start with the three different types of outcomes. We have business outcomes, product outcomes, and customer outcomes. And this is kind of in line with Ba Fa Ta, right? So let's start with the Fa and talk about business outcomes. So the Fa is the functional analyst, for those of you who've never taken my class before. And these three supporting casts help bring the product owner's information or product manager's information so that they can make better decisions regarding the future of the product or service. So when I talk about business outcome, anything that you feel like it's a metric that's related to organizational goals, like increase revenue, lower operating costs, growing market share, growing the profit margin, any of those things. The business outcomes are what allows the company's stakeholders to track the company's progress, profit margin growth, those kind of things, right? But you have to remember that the business outcomes are often lagging indicators. So they're going to happen. It's just you may not get it right away. It's not an immediate thing. So with that being said, I think it's just incredibly important for us to know that the business outcomes are important and there's something that we can focus on. But this is the main reason why we have a functional analyst to strategically make sure we're pointed in the right direction, that we are in line with our product and business strategy, that we have a North Star, and that we understand what we're trying to track from a strategic business outcome perspective. All right, the second type of outcome is the easiest one. This is the product outcome. Now, the product outcome is where we're talking about, and I'm associating this one with the TA, so hear me out here. And the TA is the technical analyst. So at the product level, we may decide that a way to decrease the churn rate, the impact of business outcome, is to increase customer engagement. How do we measure it, right? Well, maybe the total number of hours customers watch our videos every month. That's a good way to measure. So this requires some technical prowess to be able to put together the data, to aggregate, and to get the information we need so that we can measure the product outcome. So a good example of a product outcome could be every month customers spend on average 30 minutes more watching our videos. So they spend 30 minutes more engaging on certain landing pages or whatever the case may be, right? We're looking for those type of percentage increases, and they're things that often require some technicality in order to gather the information that we need. But it's based on the outcome from us having a product or service that matters. Okay, the last one's going to be for the bot, a business analyst, and this one is customer outcomes. So the truth is, customers really don't care about the output, the features. They don't. I know it sounds crazy, but they care more about functional outcomes. So the customer has certain things they want to get done when they're using your product or service. That's what they care about. Can I get from point A to point B? Can I do the things I need to do? Emotional outcomes. So how do I feel? Or what does it help me avoid feeling by using your product or service? Am I getting rid of stress? Do I feel a sense of safety or freedom or joy? Do I get a warm fuzzy because I'm taking care of the environment? Is it an adrenaline rush to get me, involved right away and suck me in? Those are all great things. And then the last one I thought of just now for customer outcomes is like a social outcome. So how do the customers want to be perceived by others when they use your product or service? This is a real good tool if you have some type of eco-based product. A lot of people will say this is the Tesla phenomenon or the Apple phenomenon. When people use your product, they feel like they're part of a cult. Unless it's Apple, then it's an I cult. I guess if it's a Tesla, it would be a T cult. But if it was an Optimus, it would be an O cult. Never mind, it was a terrible joke. All right, but that's going to do it. I think the thing that you need to really focus on is that you need to understand that your main mission is to focus on impact. Impact is what you're trying to do. And the only way you're ever going to reach impact is if you focus on outcome. And the only way you're ever going to focus on outcome is if you stop focusing on output. So there you go. Lots of good stuff, lots of good information. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have a topic you want us to talk about, feel free to reach out. Learn more at agiledad.com. We would love to hear about your topic. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.